What's up, guys? It's Scoopman 5000 back for another action figure review, and today we are looking at Venom from Let There Be Carnage from s.h.figuarts. I've been sitting on this figure for a while, probably over a month, but I still really want to talk about him. The original movie, one of my favorites. Let There Be Carnage, not as great, but still a fun movie. And a couple years ago, we got that Marvel Legends. It's one of my more popular videos. Such an important figure to me, and now we got a premium s.h.figuarts import version to compare it with. Figuarts packaging, it's about what we get with imports, but you do have a decent design here. Venom across the window. On the back, you get some product shots, some breakdowns. Everything's in Japanese over here. He's been in here for too long. Let's get Venom out and take a look. And here's Venom out of the packaging, and I think what makes this guy really stand apart is the accessories. Starting out with the hands, on the figure you got these wide open hands. He also does come with a pair of pointing hands, and then finally some fist hands, some good old punching hands. For the head sculpts we got three, and it's basically varying degrees of mouth. The one on the figure is the closed, smiling grin, then he opens his mouth up, a little tongue action, and then we got the wide open mouth. He's getting ready to eat some fools. And this one's really cool because we don't have one like this on the Marvel Legends, so I might end up sticking with that one. Next accessory is pretty cool, but you almost wouldn't use it with this figure. It's a separated Venom symbiote head and then a trail coming behind it. It's got a little hole that it's supposed to peg into the back of a figure, but you do have to find a way to attach it. And then finally, a really cool piece, something we don't always see on Venom, is these big spikes, these big tendrils coming out of his back, fully articulated. We'll go over that in a bit. And that leaves us with Venom, our base figure, and really just a great heft and a feel in your hands. And you can already tell he's just going to have some really fun articulation. But because it's a dark, I was going to say black, but there's actually almost a blue tint to this guy, which is interesting. But either way, the dark color scheme, the seams on the joints like over here, sometimes these Figuarts crotches can look pretty ugly, but it all kind of blends together on Venom. We'll do a better comparison later, but I will say I think proportionally the head looks a little bit smaller on the Figuarts, but again, we'll come back to this guy later. I don't know how I feel because obviously the smaller head's going to make him look larger in a way, but I don't know how I feel about its accuracy. I feel like the head should be larger. We're talking about how he looks in the movie. Great details here. Something else that kind of separates it from the Marvel Legends is the shading in the eyes. It's almost like a milky transition into a blue color. And that's exactly what it looks like in the movie. So props to Figuarts on that. And then we get to the white veins that took the place of the spider logo in the movies. And here they're much thinner than you might get on a domestic figure. They're more detailed. It gives you that desired effect because the whole figure has kind of a shine to him. So he looks like a symbiote. He looks gelatinous and shiny, and he's got these veins. Good stuff. And proportionally, I love the shape of Venom. Just this big-ass V shape, thin in the torso. Classic superhero shape, and even more exaggerated with the long arm. I mean, Venom just one of the greatest designs. And going into this movie, like 5 years ago, whatever it was, oh, he doesn't have a logo. How are you going to do Venom without Spider-Man? This is one of my favorite comic book movies, so really great to have this guy in a premium format. So we're going to go to articulation, but first I'll actually show you. You got to remove this back plate to stick on the extra tendrils. Got that down arrow. Stick it in the back here, and it's a great blend in the back of the torso. Now Venom's looking even more imposing. Who knew that was possible? Now let's go ahead. Let's do some articulation. So for the head, you can see how it's cut here. Really thin neck, sticks out on the back. But as a result, you're going to get really good upwards movement. Pretty much straight on, so he could crawl towards you. I mean, this is better than Superman figures, and you want them to fly? Well, Venom can do it. And then down is going to be pretty good as well. Buries the chin into his chest. It's about as far as he could go, and really great stuff there. All kinds of tilt action. So you got hinges and swivels and tilts. The neck is articulated. So everything is working together. It's a symbiotic relationship, if you will. You got a very expressive head. Shoulders have a really nice butterfly. I like this style a lot where they actually pop out. So you get a little bit of across the chest movement. I mean, I say that, it doesn't really go across the chest, but he could still be grabbing somebody here. He could be grabbing someone by the neck like this. So there is a bit of that inward movement that's appreciated. It doesn't really go out more. It's just sideways and then inwards. But still, I do like these functional joints. Shoulder goes actually up past 90. I felt some kind of a click there. So about there is where it's going to land. Bicep cut, double elbow. Pretty limited actually, but he's got big ass arms. So I'll give him that. Ball hinge, all kinds of movement at the wrist. For the torso, ball joint and ball joint at the bottom. Back is really not great. Pretty disappointing actually, but I guess the head is going to make most of that movement up. See, looking down, it seems like the torso really wants to stay on this axis. I mean, it can side to side like nobody's business, but forward and back, very limited. The bottom can do some of that work, but you're going to have to play with it. And that's almost got me nervous feeling. I don't like how this feels. It's like I'm going to snap it if I go any further. Really weird how this middle torso is designed. For these back wings here, you see they articulate on a couple of different ball pegs. One is right here at the base, and then as well in the middle of each of these, same kind of deal. You got a nice ball joint, rotation, direction. So really with the combo of those two, these things are going to go wherever you want them to pincer and attack. When we get to the legs, kick back all the way as a result of this weird looking crotch. Get that back up, the cheeks back there, and see how that works, which is pretty innovative. But again, it really only works on a figure like Venom, where everything is one color and it blends. But when you start to look at it on something like Spider-Man, kind of looks crotchy and gappy and weird. Now there is a swivel at the thigh, but you can hear that it's very tight, so maybe warm this guy up if you're going to get crazy with him. Double knee, pretty stiff as well, and it goes right to where that calf muscle allows it, which again we've seen better on other figures, but you use the rest of the leg and that's better than pretty much any figure you're going to get. Some nice tight feeling ankles, and you gotta love that on a big figure, and you gotta love it, big ass Venom toe hinge. And for comparison, let's start it out with the Marvel Legends version, and you can see they're almost the same height. Figuarts actually being a little bit taller, and Figuarts, I think they're getting a lot better with scale, or at least they're creeping up to try to compete with these domestic lines, because Figuarts always felt very small. Now there's pros and cons to both of these. I mean, obviously the Figuarts is more high quality, the paint is better, but I still love this Marvel Legends, and the fact that we even got it, and I've said it a couple times already, one of my favorite comic book movies, that original one. I think if you already have this one, like maybe you don't need the Figuarts. Someone like me, I love this movie. I had to get both, and I love seeing them next to each other. And then here's essentially the same figure in the comic book flavor, with the different head sculpt. Then here he is with the recent 3-pack Venom with the Eddie Brock head sculpt on it. This is the Omega Red style body on Venom, which is another great one. You see a similar V shape on both of these guys, but obviously the comic version, a bit more squat. And here he is with Riot, who of course was the villain of the first Venom movie. A very different design. I'd love to see one of these companies, Marvel Legends, Figuarts, to actually make a movie Riot. But for now, here's the comic book. The Life Foundation version is going to be the same size as your Monster Venom, Mac Gargan Venom, and also the Toxin. So a great combo. Again, if any of these companies are listening, make me a movie Riot. I'll buy 2. Here's Venom with Null, a character I would love to see in some of the upcoming Venom movies. Especially, we're so separated from Spider-Man in that universe. Let's bring it into Null. Let's bring it into that universe. The King in Black, the Venom race. Now let there be some carnage. Here's the recent comic book flavor with the sculpted veins, but obviously this does not match up to the movie appearance. I'd say if you can't wait for the Carnage Figuarts, definitely pair them up with this Diamond Select Carnage. I think this was from the Disney store a few years ago. It's the most recent Carnage as far as I know, and it's very, very close to the movie rendition. The height is accurate. He's taller than Venom. The face may be a little bit different, but this will definitely hold you over. I'm going to take some great photos with these two in a minute. And we got to throw a Spider-Man in here. So here's Renew Your Vows 2-pack Spider-Man. Let's throw in a Symbiote Mafex Spider-Man. Here he is with another Figuarts. The one we're going to take a look at next, the incomparable Tobey in the house. And finally with our Figuarts MCU No Way Home Spider-Man. And that's going to do it for our movie Tom Hardy style Venom from s.h.figuarts. And this is so great to have. Very similar feeling to when I first got that Marvel Legends. Just a really special figure. My only gripe being the middle torso definitely feels something like something's wrong. Like I'm going to break something if I try to bend it. But pretty much every other joint in this figure feels great, moves great. All the different head sculpts are brilliant. Back tendrils are unique. And that extra accessory with the Venom symbiote popping out of the back, I'm going to have to find a use for that because it's such a cool piece. So again, this figure's been out for a while, but I definitely wanted to talk about him, and I don't regret it. Now up next, we are going to look at Tobey, the more recent release, and even that's been out for a while, but I am backed up on figures, I feel like. But just back to back, very important figures to me. Very awesome to have Figuarts of Tom Hardy Venom, Tobey Spider-Man. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you leave a comment and a like. Be taking some figure photography for the end of this video, and you can see my whole library of figure photography over on Instagram, scoopman_5000. You can also check out my second channel. We're going to be talking shop about Marvel and DC movies. And I'll see you guys in the next action figure review.